morning, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are keeping fine. Let us come back to our English class. Today, let us learn from the supplementary leader about the wild animal. Wild animal means, the tiger, the lions, the elephant, all these things. Today especially, we learn about the tiger cub. You might have seen in the pictures also when you went to the zoo, you might have seen in the zoo the tiger and all tiger lions, all that. So let us learn about the tiger in the house. If we bring them, this is usually wild animal. If we take care of in the house, how it will be, how will be the nature of this tiger? Because by nature it is wild animals. It kills others and eats. But when we bring up in the house, what will be the nature of this animal? Let us learn from this lesson. On page number 58, dear students, open your text, all of you. A tiger in the house. So the tiger is in the house means they are taking care in the house. Grandfather finds a tiny tiger cub in the forest and brings him home. Grandmother calls him Timothy and brings him up like a human child. Timothy is playful and naughty. His companions are Toto, the monkey, a puppy, and other members of the household. So one day the grandfather brought the tiny, very small one with a tiny tiger he brought to home. And grandmother was put the name for that one and called him as a Timothy. Like a human child, how we take care of the child, same way the grandmother and the other workers in the house, they were taking care of this one. And Timothy is a playful and naughty. It is very playful, it plays nicely, but at the same time it is very a naughty creature. His companions, Toto, the monkey. Who is his friends? Toto, the monkey, a puppy, and other members of the household are his friends and companions for him. Timothy, the tiger cub, was discovered by grandfather in Terai jungle near Tegara. So, grandfather, Timothy means here we are talking about the tiger cub, where the grandfather found in the Tera jungle. He went to the jungle with his friends for some catching hold of the animals. No? For that, when he went for this one, he found in the jungle near Tegara. One day, when grandfather was strolling down the forest path at some distance from the rest of the party, he discovered a little tiger about 18 inches long hiding among the intricate roots of a banyan tree. So one day what happened? The narrator is telling about his grandfather who brought this one. His grandfather, one day he was strolling, means he was walking. He was walking down the forest. They were walking in the forest, on the path of the forest, and some distance from the rest of the party, means he had gone with his friends. They were walking front and he was walking alone. As he was walking, he discovered means he found a little tiger about 18 inches long. How much it was? 18 inches long it is, hiding among the intricate roots of a banyan tree. Means complication, the roots are very complication. In that particular roots are very complication, it's very struggling. Between the roots it was standing and struggling, this particular tiger cub. Grandfather picked him up and brought him home. He heard the distinction of being the only member of the party to have backed any game, dead or alive. And what happened when he saw that grandfather was struggling under the banyan tree, he brought it home. He picked him up and brought him home. He heard the distinction. For him, there is no difference between the alive people, living or being human beings or animals. He has no difference between them because he loves them and he takes care of them. The distinction of being only the member of the party. And he also, when he brought up this particular tiger cub, he also loved this one as their own member of the family, and they were taking care of him. Member of the party to have packed any game, dead or alive. It is whether it is a living animal or dead animals, and he brought it home and he was taking care of as it is one of the house member. At first, the tiger cub who was named Timothy by grandmother. So who named for this one? Grandmother named him as a Timothy. and was brought up entirely on milk given to him in a feeding bottle by our cook. So my grandmother given the name for him. They used to call the tiger cub as a Timothy, and they were fully entirely means completely they were giving only milk for this tiger cub. And who was feeding? They put it in the bottle, and the cook in their house he used to feed this particular Timothy. Mohammed, his name is, the cook name is Mohammed. But the milk proved too rich for him, and he was put on a diet of raw mutton and goat liver oil, to be followed later by a more tempting diet of pigeons and rabbits. But the milk he was not able to digest. Tigers usually they are brought up by the wild animals, killing other animals and they eat, and giving the milk it was not able to digest. So what they did, it became too rich for him, became so much heavy for him, it was not able to digest. So what they did, they were giving on like a raw mutton, like means uncooked mutton they were giving, and goat liver oil, a kind of fish from the oil, fish they get the oil, that they were giving for him, to be followed later. And later what happened? First they given the milk, it was not digesting, then they started to give the uncooked mutton, without cooking mutton, and the liver of the fish, and they slowly they followed the giving by pigeons and rabbits. That also they began to give for this one particular tiger cub to eat. And tempting means it is attracting. As once we bring him giving the when once we bring them by giving them meat, what happens? It naturally it will develop for the other things also. So when it gets a smell of say any mutton or any fish, immediately it will be longing to eat. So it also was so much tempting and attractive towards the rabbits and the pigeons. So they also was giving them as a food for him. Timothy was provided with two companions. With him there was two companions. Who are the Toto? Toto means it is a monkey. They were taking in that house, particular house, the monkey also they were taking here. Who was bold enough to pull the young tiger by the tail and then climb up the curtains if Timothy lost his temper. What it does now? This monkey is so much of doesn't frightened of this particular Timothy. It used to pull the tail of this particular tiger cub, and when it gets angry, immediately it climbs up to the the curtains. We'll be having the curtains in front of the door. So it used to catch hold of the curtain and it used to climb up and stand there, so that the Timothy cannot bite him or do anything to him. Next, and a small mongrel puppy found on the road by grandfather. And not only this Timothy, this monkey was a friend, one more puppy the grandfather one day he found on the way. It was lying down alone, nobody said to take care. Even that small puppy he brought up and they were taking care. This both were the friends for a tiger cub. At first Timothy appeared to be quite afraid of the puppy. Beginning how it was, the way puppy runs and bites, it was Timothy was so much afraid and darted back with a spring if it came too near. And that means it was rushing down. When the puppy comes near to him, it used to run away, and with a jump, spring up when it came too near. When the puppy comes near to this tiger cub, it used to rush and jump and go and hide somewhere. He would make absurd dashes at it with his large forepaws. Means it used to make some sounds into this one. With his large forepaws means the footprint of this foot of the animal. They will be having the legs of the animal foot. We call them as a paws. And it used to run away with that four legs. It used to run and then retreat to a ridiculously. It means and again go back. Ridiculously means without fear. It goes for safe distance. Again what happens? It used to just go back again near to that one. Finally he allowed the puppy to gravel on his back and rest there. And what happens? Finally what it will do now? When it goes near to the puppy get frightened. The puppy will be like a snake, how it will be graveling, moving onto this one. Same way this puppy will be graveling, going backside, seeing the tiger cub, and it makes him to sit in that particular place. Next, one of the Timothy's favorite amusement was to stalk anyone who would play with him. So favorite means when it sees the same kind of its own nature. it is a wild animal. So when it sees the same kind of other animals, what happens? It was so much, it used to follow them. It used to follow them, anyone who would play with him. So the one who is same kind of animal, when it sees, it used to follow with them and it goes and plays with them. Who? The Timothy. And so when I came to live with the grandfather, I became one of the tiger's favorite. So when I came, who is talking, this narrator? Narrator means the grandfather's grandson. So the grandson is telling, when I came home to my grandfather's house, I also became one of the favorite for my Timothy. With a crafty look in his glittering eyes. Crafty means with the cunning eyes it will be looking, and the eyes will be glittering means it will be like a shining, and his body crouching. Crouching means sitting on its haunches. It will be sitting like that on the haunches, it will be lying down. The way it sits on the floor, like a cunning way, such a way it sits on the floor. He would creep closer and closer to me. So what it will do? The way it sits on the down and it used to come near to me. It becomes closer to me. Suddenly making a dash for my feet. Suddenly what it will run and get up and it will touch, rush his feet means go and kick his feet and rolling over on his back and kicking with delight. But suddenly what happened? It will go and kick that boy's leg and again it will go back. The playing with him, such a way it used to play with him. Rolling over on his back and kicking with delight, with happiness, and pretending to bite my ankles. How it shows? Pretending means showing as if acting, as if it is going to bite that particular boy. Like that, the Timothy used to play with us. So here I complete this lesson. Rest of the lesson we will see in the next class. Once again I repeat to you. Here we are learning about the tiger. The tiger cub was brought up by the grandfather from the forest and they were taking care of him. They put the name Timothy and they were in that house. Not only Timothy was there, with him two more companions were. That is one is a monkey, another one is a puppy dog, small dog. And when it was small, they were giving the milk for the Timothy, but the Timothy was not able to digest that one. So they were started to provide the raw mutton and the goat liver oil. Slowly it also was attracted towards the rabbit and the other things on the animals. Next, then the monkey what it was used to do, it used to play with him freely. Where it will climb, it goes and pulls the tail of this particular puppy tiger cub, and when it gets angry, immediately it jumps and climb on the curtain, catch hold of the curtain. It used to jump on the climb on the up. It used to climb up, catching hold of the curtain, and it used to escape from his anger. So in beginning, this Timothy was frightened of the puppy also. The way it appears, slowly what happened, it made him to be silent. The way when it sees first, it used to run away, and after sometimes again it comes to near him and goes near to him. When it goes near to him, the puppy, it makes the puppy to go back, crawling on that, just moving back, and it makes used to sit silently. Then this Timothy, what it does, whenever it sees the same kind of this wild animal, any animal, it follows them and it used to go and play with them. Here the grandson also came. The grandson also became one of the friend for him. Why? Because this Timothy used to go and sit near to him with a cunning eyes, such a way, and when he sits near to him, suddenly it will get up and go and kick his leg and it will go back. And it makes him to get frightened, as if it is going to bite his anklet. So such a way the Timothy was playing with the family members. So up to here we complete. We learn next in the next class. Until then, dear students, those are not coming to the class, kindly see the classes.